Now it's time for one of my favorite acts in the book, the best part of the performance. And you know what that is? It's the closing act. It's the departure. For me, it's the departure. For them, it's the closure. For me, my favorite part of the show is the departure. Why? Because when it's time to leave, the person that you take with you being yourself, this is when people have to realize the person who was in front of them and all the good that came from them. Let me hold your hand when I say this now. When you know it's time to go, this feeling is there for a reason. Like you have to hit this. Like it's time. It's for you. The time to pack up and leave. With my old little friend I was dealing with, after all the time that I was going through it or whatever, every time, every time I told myself it was time to leave, I tried, but then I always came back. But then when it was my birthday time, that was like the time where like it felt like I was like, no, something's telling me like this has to be it. Like this time right now is the time. And with this part of my life, not gonna lie, like the drugs are all out of my way, so I'm making space for more positive energy and just healing and all that. But now that that's on my way, like now I have to focus on the energies that I choose to surround myself with. So now I'm in an instance where I'm just like, get these people off of social media, like just get them off. And the thing about it is sometimes that thought goes away, but when that thought is sitting there, when I let a thought linger for too long and it just won't go away for a reason, I'm like, this is sitting here for a reason. I need to give in and I need to make it go away, like Daddy says. The thing about it is, as I always try my best. I always try my best to show up for people more than I show up for myself. But then the thing about it is, these same people are the ones who show me that, well, I should have been putting myself first rather than them. And that's when I've known I've overplayed my part in their life. When these people show me, when I figure out what I mean to these people, that's when I know it's time to go. The thing about it is, I've always been the black sheep. I've always been the witch of the whole friend group, whatever. But the thing about it is, y'all aren't, and like y'all don't have it in you to cast me out. So the thing about it is, I will stand on my own 10 toes and I will cast myself out. Like, I don't give a fuck to stand alone, because at the end of the day there's other witches out there, but I'm not gonna find it here. And when you know something's fucked up, and when you know this is, listen closely, this is when you know that these people don't fuck with you, is when people still do fucking shit that is just wrong as fuck, and you have a full explanation behind it to why it's weird as fuck, and these people still vouch for those people. That's when you know you don't mean shit to these people, and these people will always stick by what they know. When that shit happens, now you know, babes, now it's time to go for real, because these now, look now, look, you're so right. That's the thing. For the people, you're so right to people who are wrong, but to the wrong ones, you're so wrong. Wait, no, let me say this right. To the people who they cast as being wrong, you're right to them. But then the same way to the people who are genuinely wrong, like the people that they see as right, you're wrong to them. That's when you know you've played your part. Your significance in these people's life, it's not as what you think it is. And that's why for me, it's like, when I realize that you mean more to me than I mean to you, bye 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 bye. I've tried, and the thing about it is, I just knew when I looked around, I didn't belong here. You know, sometimes you just know when the environment isn't for you. And when I look around, I'm like, everyone has potential. But the thing about it is, like, of course, I always try to be there for people. I try the best I can. But it just comes to a certain point where, like, you can't, there's only so much you can do. And that's where I'm at. It's like, it's only so much one person can do when it's just a group of people going down a certain path. Like, when you're one person, if you're like contagious and you're spreading that good to at least a few, like, you make progress. But when not even one person could be affected, you have to realize it's time to go. That's where I'm at in life. I'm growing, and the more I grow, I realize that the crowd that I'm around is not a crowd that I'm meant to be in. And that's the thing. Even if that means not fitting in, so be it. There's gonna be a place for you somewhere. Trust me, there is. You don't have to force yourself into groups just to feel a sense of belonging. You don't, because there's going to be places in life where they'll naturally accept you just as you are. And you'll actually feel more accepted. You'll feel more open. You won't feel like you have to take these people places, because you know what? You guys are going to fucking get in a hot air balloon together, and you guys are all going to level it out, and you're all going to boast each other together. Not you putting in all the work, but a whole group effort of everyone trying to go up together. Because that's what it's about. And one thing about me is like, it's only when I leave do people realize who else is there to look after me? Who else is there to tell me that the way I'm doing things and what I'm going about is wrong? Who else is there to challenge me and actually not just think what everyone else is thinking, and actually do what everyone else is thinking, and dress in their own way and look how they look and do things in their own light and actually shine and allow people to try to shine as well and share their light with others? Who else is going to do that? Who else? But you know, that's why I love it, because the thing is that people only start to appreciate the things that was in front of them once it's gone. It's the same thing in death. People, like they say, it shouldn't be death that brings family closer. It shouldn't be death that makes people want to care. And that's the thing. People only care when you're dead. You need to understand, we have to be more appreciative of what's right in front of us, because why is it that only when it's gone do we care? No, it shouldn't be like that. Take care of that gem that's in front of you, because the thing is, it's a sacred thing. Not everybody could fucking have it. So why is it that it's in front of you and you're still downplaying it? But you know what? Keep doing it, because now that it's gone, all of a sudden you want it even more, right? You're longing for what you could have had, but now that it's gone, you want it. No, it's not gonna work that way. And that's why I've always been the outcast, whatever. But you're never gonna cast me as the fool. That's one thing. I've never been the fool. You can't put me as the fool for standing up for myself. You can't put me as the fool for standing up for my... I think I just said it twice. You can't put me as the fool for making realizations that other people are slipping by. You can't do that to me. You can't put me as a fool for not being fucking gullible and being able to be gaslit and just think that's just okay. You cannot do that to me. That's like one thing about me is I don't care. I will be the villain. I will be the fucking villain. Because the thing about it is, when villains grew up the same way, look at the fucking movie. When the villains group up to the villains, they're doing justice. But to the fucking superheroes, they're the fucking justice ones. What? They're the ones doing the justice? Like, put it that fucking way. That's why I'll be cast as a villain. And just like there's other villains out there who will hear my story and make the things that I'm saying about it will make sense to them. But then the things to these people who are just like in their own ways, it will never make sense. And what you need to understand is, it's always the people who actually, with the more knowledge, with the people with the more understanding, who are always the ones who are shut out. It's always, and it's so unfair to them. But then you know what? It's okay, because babes, there's someone out there who's gonna make you feel comfortable for thinking the way you do, who is gonna actually understand where you're coming from, and is not just gonna surrender the way everyone else does. Get out of there. Get out of there. Because again, when you leave, that's when they start to care. That's when they do. But you know what? Nonetheless, fucking leave. Okay? Leave.